A warm welcome to the New Times Weekly Review, where we bring you the top stories that made headlines in the course of the week. I am Joanne Babazi with my colleague
Ines.
As we kick off, Ines can take us through health.
Rwanda to acquire Sinopharm vaccines next week. By next week, the government of Rwanda is going to receive 200,000 doses of the Chinese manufactured vaccine, Sinopharm. The vaccine is 79% effective against COVID-19, as the World Health Organization announced. Sinopharm is double-shot COVID-19 vaccine. The development was announced by the Health Minister Dr. Denis Ngamije, alongside his counterpart Jean-Marie Vianney of local government, as he shed light on the new COVID-19 guidelines announced during the cabinet meeting of Wednesday, August 11th. The vaccine might be mandatory very soon, and employees in the public sector were all urged to get vaccinated.
And in entertainment, Clarisse Karasira awarded for promoting the Rwandan culture. Traditional singer Clarisse Karasira last released her single Rambyaye, sponsored by Rwanda Cultural Heritage Academy, as part of her award as the best artist in promoting Rwandan culture. She was awarded a cash prize that she declined to reveal and a certificate of appreciation by the cultural institution for her role in stimulating the Rwandan culture through her songs.
Genocide suspect Rutunga charged pleaded not guilty. The Kicukiro Primary Court charged 3 counts genocide suspect Venant Rutunga on August 12. The 72-year-old was charged with genocide, complicity in committing genocide, and extermination as a crime against humanity. According to prosecutors, Rutunga committed the crimes mostly between April 26th and 30th, 1994 in Butare, current Huye district, where he was working as the regional director of the Rwanda Agriculture Research Institute, ISAR Rubona. A number of crimes committed by the defendant that he did during the genocide were presented in court. In his defense, however, Rutunga denied the charges, saying he did not commit the crimes of which he is being accused, and argued that while he was away, the attackers came in, killed people, and destroyed property, including his own house.
As we move to sports, let's talk about our national football team, Amavubi. Amavubi up 10 places in the latest FIFA ranking. The national football team, Amavubi, has moved up 10 spots in the latest FIFA ranking released on Thursday, August 12th, in Zurich, Switzerland. Rwanda is now ranked 127th, up from 137th position. The improvement comes after 2 international friendly matches in June, when Amavubi beat Central African Republic 2-0 and 5-0 respectively in Kigali. Rwanda Mozambique troops collaboration, a ray of hope. The governor of Mozambique's northern province of Cabo Delgado, Valij Taliabo, on Thursday, August 12th, thanked the troops of the government of Rwanda for helping the country's military fight the Islamic State-linked terrorists. He stressed that Rwandan troops' collaboration with his country militarily gives his people the hope that long-lasting peace and stability can prevail. Taliabo said they will, after their tour, consider what next steps to follow as they consider how best to help people return to what now looks like a ghost city. After all, its nearly 60,000 residents were forced to flee from the terrorists in the past few years. Jade Natasha Eliza has more on this story.
Thank you, Ines and Joanne. Welcome to the second part of the weekly review. Our guest today is the RDF spokesperson, Colonel Ronald Gwivanga. Welcome, sir, and thank you for your time. Would you start by briefing us on the last updates of the mission in Mozambique?
Our mission started in mid-July when we deployed in Cabo Delgado, northern province in Mozambique. Our mission was to conduct combat operations, security operations, stabilization and security sector reform. So far, what we have done in that mission is to conduct combat operations. We conducted these operations in two major districts, that is Palma and Mocimboa de Praia. We began from two axes. The first axis is from the north, which is Palma. So we moved from Afungi, which is the northernmost city in Palma, where the Total liquefied natural gas plant is located. We secured that area and then moved south on the axis from Palma down to Kilimane, actually Zambia, Kilimane, Maputo. Don't confuse Maputo for the capital city. It's a city in the north of Cabo Delgado. Then we moved down to Tete, 1st May. It's a town just next to Mocimboa de Praia. Then finally the force captured the city of Mocimboa de Praia. On the axis in the center, we moved from Mweda through to Dakar, Awase, from Awase to a city called Mototwe, which is about 30 kilometers to the city of Mocimboa de Praia. Then they linked up with the force and captured the city of Mocimboa de Praia. That is what we have done so far. So this is all combat-related operations. But we are now continuing to clear enemy pockets along the same area, remnants of the enemy along in the same area. So these are called security operations. So we are basically, we are continuing to dislodge the enemy from different locations, suspected locations. So that task has been completed, but we are still going on. There are small remnants who always remain. So that's our role now. The next role will be to consolidate these gains, establishing state authority. I think you know, a few days ago, the governor came back to Mocimboa de Praia. And so state systems will start to operate. Hopefully we shall ensure that this is sustained in the long run, and we shall go on to stabilize and then continue to perform our role of security sector reform.
It has been a month since our troops have been in Mozambique. Would you say it has been a success so far?
Yeah, pretty much success. It has been a success because we've conducted operations successively through all these cities that I told you, and the enemy has been on the run throughout. So I could say it's been a success, pretty much a success throughout.
Usually you send the police and the military forces to foreign missions separately, but for this case you chose to send them as a joint, to be joined to the Mozambican forces. Why?
National police forces have specialities that they are very good at. We have a very good anti-terror group. They are also very good in law enforcement, and this is one of the tasks that will be carried out along with our forces, of course. It's one of our constitutional roles, and the police also has that role. So they have capabilities that we also have in that area. So we didn't see any reason why we should not deploy with them.
Before, women have been part of the peacekeeping contingents that have been being sent to foreign missions. Is it the same case now?
Well, it's the same case everywhere we deploy. Women have trained with us in all the training courses. They have capabilities that the men have. So they are deployed wherever our forces are deployed. You've seen ladies have their own sections or units on cadet course. So we have commanders who are ladies, and we also have ladies in different specialities in the army. So we deploy them wherever we deploy.
With the arrival of SADC forces in Mozambique, will you work with them? If so, how?
Well, the way it is planned is that each of the forces that are deployed in Mozambique have designated sectors of responsibility. SADC currently is in the southern districts of Pemba. They will go to Mwenda. Yeah, so the districts that are in the southern part. We will basically be focusing on Palma and Mocimboa de Praia. as the major districts of our attention. So we have designated sectors of responsibility. So we will work with them. So dealing with this enemy requires us to work hand in hand with the Mozambican forces and SADC. Share intelligence, cooperate on sectors of responsibility, hand over specific leads so that we can successfully engage the enemy from different fronts. Yeah, so it's very important to work in concert with these different forces.
However, there is a possibility that the insurgents might use the guerrilla warfare and the dense forest along the border. Is Rwanda ready for that?
Yeah, why not? We have forests here. We operate in forests every other day. So we are ready for that. That is a part of what we are trying to do.
It might take long.
Yes and no. It depends on how well we perform our role. And so far we've used the months to dislodge them from their strongholds. So long is a relative term.
What would you say to those who criticized the Rwanda deployment to Mozambique in this war, even if it was a request of the Mozambican government?
What we can say to people who criticize such an action is that that action has a noble purpose, and that is to protect civilians. We signed the 2015 protocol in which we pledged to participate either through bilateral or UN engagements to protect civilians wherever we are called upon to do so. And this is something we are very serious about, and therefore those who criticize such an action really do not probably understand the importance. We have a history of being left alone during the genocide by many players. We are not going to repeat that same mistake. So we are ready to pursue that noble cause, even with criticism.
So with this mission, what is next? What is going to be your next move?
Continue what we pledged to do. We will continue the task that we are given until we complete it.
Thank you very much for your shared views on this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jade, for that great interview, which now brings us to the end of our weekly review. Joanne, it was a pleasure working with you. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The New Times Rwanda, and visit us on our website, The New Times. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.